Hello everyone, this is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join ACE Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an ACE charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.
This broadcast is for secondary school students. Hello students, my name is Adesami Temitayo and I welcome you to today's English class on ACE Radio School. I want to take this time to appreciate the students that sent in responses to the baseline assessment, got your text messages, and you did greatly. I say well done to you all. Today, I'll be teaching you the topic clauses. Pay attention students, because at the end of this lesson, I will ask you a few questions. I hope you're all ready. Get your writing materials and listen attentively. What is a clause? A clause is a group of related words containing a subject and a verb. This is unlike a phrase that does not include a subject and a verb relationship. There are two types of clauses. Are we listening? How many types? Two types of clauses. They are main or independent clause, that is one. The second one is subordinate or dependent clause. I take it again. The two types of clauses are, number one, main or independent clause. The second one is subordinate or dependent clause. We start with the first type of clause, which is the main clause. A main clause is also known as an independent clause. It means this particular clause can stand on its own and it makes a complete meaning. Conveys a complete information. It can form a complete sentence on its own and expresses a complete meaning. Examples of main clauses are A. I am going home. B. We love our English teacher. C. Ahmed played football. D. He will not be promoted to the next class. All these sentences make complete sense on their own. That is why they are called main or independent clause. Now let's move on to subordinate or dependent clause. Just as the name implies, it relies on the main clause to make a complete sense. In other words, it cannot stand on its own. That's why it is called subordinate. That's why it is called dependent. It will have to depend on the information in the main clause to be complete. A subordinate clause is also known as a dependent clause which does not express a complete thought and cannot stand alone. It depends on the main clause to make a complete sense or sentence. Are we getting it? Good. Examples of subordinate clauses are A. As soon as I finish praying. B. Since we enjoyed this lesson. C. While the sun was still shining. D. Unless he passes the examination. Note that these dependent clauses, as the name implies, need to be combined with an independent or main clause to form a complete thought. Now, take a look at our first main clause, I am going home, and take a look at our first subordinate clause, as soon as I finish praying. Now, if I just ask you, as soon as I finish praying, you'll be expecting something else, isn't it? That information is incomplete. But let's couple it with the main clause. I am going home as soon as I finish praying. Now, can you see that it makes a complete sense now? So, subordinate clauses need to be coupled with the main clause to make a complete sense. Very good, students. Let's do an exercise together. I want you to identify the main clause and subordinate clause in the following sentence. Are you ready? I am in a hurry because I am late. I'll take the sentence again. I am in a hurry because I am late. Identify the main clause in this sentence and the subordinate clause. Okay? Of course, if you're upset or if you've written that the main clause is I am in a hurry, you're very correct because it can stand on its own. And the subordinate clause is I because I am late. Okay? Very good. So, because I am late is a subordinate clause because it had to rely on the main clause I am in a hurry. Alright, students, let's do a recap of what has been learned today. We learned about clauses, and of course we said a clause is a group of what? Of related words containing what? A subject and a verb. Okay? It's like a full sentence, a complete sentence this time. We said it does not look like a phrase. And we looked at two types of clauses. We looked at the main clause and we looked at the subordinate clause. And the difference between these clauses is that the main clause is independent, it can stand on its own, make complete sense and information, while the subordinate clause cannot stand on its own. It is dependent on the main clause. And we also learned that we can combine a subordinate clause with a main clause to form a complete sentence. Very good. Now it's question time. Are you ready? Don't forget to take these questions down and send your answers as text messages to the number that will be announced. Are you ready? Okay, question number 1. What makes up a clause? What makes up a clause? Question number 2. What are subordinate clauses? What are subordinate clauses? Okay, send your responses as a text message indicating your name, your gender, if you're a boy or a girl, your state, and the subject. Don't forget, your text message must contain your name, must contain your gender, must contain your state, and the subject, that is English. So if I were you, I would write, if my name is Musa, I'll put Musa. Gender, I'll put male. State, I may put Kaduna. And subject, English. Then you send it to this number, 070-363-03182. Alright, well done students for participating with your friends in today's English lesson. Until I come your way again, it is Adesami saying bye for now.
Hello everyone, this is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join ACE Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an ACE charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.
This podcast is for secondary school students. Hello students, My name is Mrs. Oluwashina Teniola, and I welcome you to today's mathematics class on ACE Radio School. Last time, we learned about algebra, how to add and subtract algebraic expressions with like terms and unlike terms. Today, I will be teaching you another part of algebra. I'll be explaining how to multiply and divide simple algebraic expressions. Get your pen and notebook and let's get ready to learn. Like I explained in the previous lesson, algebraic expression is a combination of letters and numbers. It also means representing numbers with letters. Let's consider multiplying a number with a letter. 2 times A is the same as 2A. 3 times A is the same as 3A. Now, let's consider multiplying letters with letters. A times B equals AB. F times G equals FG. Let's check out A times A. Same letters? Note that this is totally different from A plus A because A plus A equals 2A. Now, what is A times A? The first thing to do is count the numbers of A's in the question. We have 2 A's. Therefore, we say our answer is A raised to power 2. You should note that the power 2 is written as a little number at the upper right of A, what we call a superscript. What about A times A times A? How many A's do we have here? 3. Excellent. That means that our answer will be A raised to power 3. Great! Can we check out the example 2A times 3A? We can start by separating the expression for easy simplification. Remember, 2A is 2 times A. Good. Also, 3A is 3 times A. Great! Let's bring them all together. 2 times A times 3 times A. Fantastic! Let's arrange the numbers side by side and the letters side by side. That will be 2 times 3 times A times A. Wow! This is now easier to simplify. The next step is to multiply the numbers and multiply the letters. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2A times A equals A raised to power 2. Therefore, 2 times 3 times A equals 6A raised to power 2. Excellent! Let's try this. 4B times 5C. The first step is to separate the expression. 4 times B times 5 times C. The second step is to arrange numbers side by side and letters side by side. It becomes 4 times 5 times B times C. Can you see that it becomes easy to simplify? The third step is to multiply the numbers together and multiply the letters together. 4 times 5 equals 20 and B times C equals BC. Hence, 4 times 5 times B times C equals 20 BC. Great! Let's consider the division aspect. 6a divided by 2a, or 6a over 2a. We divide the first number by the second number so that we have 6 divided by 2, which is 3, and divide letters by letters. Note that the letters you divide have to be the same. In this case, a over a. When a divides a, the answer is 1. Therefore, 6a over 2a equals 3 times 1, which equals 3. Great job, guys. Let's try this. 8abc divided by 2bc. 8abc divided by 2bc. This is very simple. Do you notice that we have b on the side of 8 and 2? Wow, we also have c on the side of 8 and 2. Let's continue. 8abc over 2bc. Remember, we divide the first number by the second number so that 8 divided by 2 equals 4. And divide letters by letters, I mean same letters. So b is divided by b and the answer is 1, and c is divided by c and the answer is 1. In this case, a remains because it does not have another a to be divided with. Therefore, our answer is 4 times a times 1 times 1. You may be wondering what you need to do with the 1. You can ignore it because whatever you multiply by 1 remains unchanged. So our final answer is 4a. Very impressive. Let's check out this final example. 20abc divided by 4c. 20abc divided by 4c. First step is 20abc over 4c. 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Good. There is no a and b on the side of 4. So a and b remains. But c can be divided by c, which will give us 1. Hence, 20abc divided by 4c is 5 times a times b times 1, which equals 5ab. Great! I'd like you to try this assignment and send in your answers to this phone number 07036303182. I'll take the number again, 07036303182. Question 1. Simplify 2p times 7q. Simplify 2p times 7q. Question 2. Simplify 21ab divided by 3a. Question 3. Simplify 15pq divided by 5pq. I believe you have learned how to multiply and divide simple algebraic expression. Keep practicing, have fun, and stay safe.
Hello everyone, this is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join ACE Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an ACE charity initiative. Powered by the Malala Fund.
This section is for secondary school students. Hello students, my name is Ibrahim Mark, your ACE Radio School physics teacher. Kindly get your pen and book ready to take notes. During our class on units and dimensions, we came across a few new words such as displacement, speed, velocity, and acceleration. In today's class, we shall be discussing these words and others in depth. Let me start by telling you a brief story. You see, last year, I had to catch a flight from Abuja to Lagos. My flight was to take off by 4 p.m. I called a friend to know how far the airport is from my house. My friend replied that the distance was 120 kilometers. So I left my house by 1 p.m. and drove at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. From this, I should arrive at the airport in 2 hours. Yes. Since I drove at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour and the distance to the airport is 120 kilometers, I would have covered 120 kilometers in 2 hours. Now let me cut my long story short. You see, after 2 hours of driving, I found myself at Lokoja. Instead of the airport. Please don't laugh at me. I will tell you why this happened to me. This happened because I asked my friend for the distance from my house to the airport. You see, distance is a scalar quantity and does not include direction. I should have asked for the displacement of the airport from my house. Displacement is a vector quantity. Now, you'll be right to ask me, what are scalars and what are vector quantities? Don't worry, we'll be learning about them in today's class. Isn't that exciting? You see, scalar quantities are physical quantities that have magnitude. That is, they have size, but do not have direction. Once again, scalar quantities are physical quantities that have magnitude. That is, they have size, but do not have direction. They can only be measured. Another name for scalar quantities, we can simply refer to them as scalars. As an example, if I want to know your height using a tape rule, a tape rule is a measuring instrument commonly used by tailors. You must have seen the tape rule when you went to sew your Christmas clothes or your Salah clothes or maybe your school uniform. See, I can start measuring from your head to your foot, or I can start from your foot to your head. Either way, I will get the same value. Some examples of scalar quantities are mass, time, length, speed, and temperature. Once again, some examples of scalar quantities are mass, time, length, speed, and temperature. However, vector quantities are quantities with both magnitude, that is, they have size, and direction. Once again, vector quantities are quantities with both magnitude, that is, size, and direction. These quantities do not only tell us their measurement or amount, they also tell us the direction from which their measurement was carried out. They are also called vectors. They are also called what? Vectors. Examples of vector quantities are displacement, velocity, force, acceleration, and so many more. Once again, examples of vector quantities are displacement, velocity, force, acceleration, etc. To understand the difference between scalars and vectors, let us study distance and displacement. Distance is the numerical value of how far two or more points, objects, or locations are from each other. Once again, distance is the numerical value of how far two or more points, objects, or locations are from each other. For instance, the distance of Abuja from Lagos is approximately 698.6 kilometers. 698.6 kilometers. This distance does not tell what direction we should travel. Displacement, on the other hand, is the distance between 2 points or objects in a specified direction. Displacement is the distance between two or more points or objects in a specified direction. That is, the distance in a stated or measured direction. For instance, the displacement of Abuja from Lagos will be 698.6 kilometers in the south northerly direction. So if you are coming from Abuja, if you are going to Abuja and you are coming from Lagos, you will travel from the south towards the north. This is the displacement. This means we start measuring our distance from Lagos. However, the displacement of Lagos from Abuja will be 698.6 kilometers in the north-southerly direction. So if you are measuring your distance from Abuja, that means you are starting your journey from Abuja and going to Lagos, you'll be traveling in the north-southerly direction, meaning we start our measurement from Abuja. I shall explain the difference between scalars and vectors further in our next class by studying speed, velocity, and acceleration. So in our next class, we shall be studying speed, velocity, and acceleration. With this, we have come to the end of today's class. Now, I want you to listen carefully to the following questions, as these questions will serve as your assignments. The questions are as follows. A scalar quantity has only the following. A scalar quantity has only the following. A. Magnitude. B. Magnitude and direction. C. Direction. A. Magnitude. B. Magnitude and direction. C. Direction. Question number 2. Which of these is an example of a scalar quantity? Which of these is an example of a scalar quantity? A. Distance. B. Displacement. C. Velocity. Once again, A. Distance. B. Displacement. C. Velocity.
Send your responses as a text message indicating your name, your gender, if you're a boy or you're a girl, your state, and the subject. Then you send it to this number 070-363-03182.
I believe we had fun learning together, because I sure did. Till I come your way again on Ace Radio School, remember, it is not the speed that matters, it is getting to the right destination. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is for all the children at home during this COVID-19 pandemic. Join Ace Radio School on Wazobia Abuja to continue learning while you're at home. This is for nursery, primary, and secondary school children. We will be teaching you literacy, numeracy, STEM subjects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. This is an Ace charity initiative.
Powered by the Malala Fund.